Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of Walkthrough Wednesday, where we jump into the 303 breakdown. How did I come up with the vocals? How did I make the breakdown idea before David jumped on it and kind of polish it up? This is the one of three projects I was talking about. Obviously, last week you saw the original drop and the final project. This is the break project where it all started. And I'm going to show you all these little things that I did within here, including the vocals themselves, because the vocals are original. They're not from a sample pack. I went on Fiverr.com, Fiverr with two R's, and I looked for voice actors. Because I found that acid sample, boom, 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 I knew I had to make the theme acid. You know, acid was a huge sound for the rave scene, and it still is. So I wanted to pay respects to that with the theme. So I just came up with some lyrics, sent it over to a guy, and he did pretty well. And I just took it back into my project and EQ'd them. So if you ever want those dramatic vocals, go on Fiverr and just look for voice actors and people like that, dramatic people, drama queens, to basically do the vocals for you and send it back in high quality, right? It costs you like €35 or €40 or something like that, but it's well worth it. Before we get into it, I think by the time you're watching this next week or this week, I will be announcing a brand new track on a brand new label that I've not released before. I'm so excited to start releasing on this label. It's my favorite label right now. So very excited for that, and I hope you guys can support me with that. And as always, if you haven't downloaded this sample pack, join the Patreon squad. It costs $1 a week. You get samples. You can send me music at any time through the Patreon messages. And you also get 6 sample packs as well. And in addition to that, if you want to join the Rave Room Patreon as well, that link is in the description. Also, over there you can get one-on-one sessions where we go through all your Rave Room demos. If you want me to improve your demos, I can help you out with that. Or if you just want instant replies and you don't want to use the demo mail, come and join me over there. So let's jump into the break. This is how the first break sounds, basically.
Acid, electro, 303, techno, acid.
Then the main breakdown is this one.
303, techno, acid, electro.
So that there is the theme of the track. It's all about the different genres within these ravey sounds. You know, I basically, it's not a massive script. I just knew I had to get acid in there somewhere, right? So I couldn't just have him say acid over and over and over and over again, because that would just be boring, right? So basically, what I did was
techno.
Decided which genres I want to put in here. I think we can both appreciate if I put Big Room in there, it would sound horrible, right? So it was techno, acid, electro, 303.
Techno, acid, electro, 303. Techno, acid, electro, 303. Techno.
And it's just that repeated, right? So I basically asked him to do quite a lot of words. I asked him to say the word bass.
Bass.
He didn't say it too well, but you know what? I used what I had. And that is pretty much the vocal. I just sent him over the script. I said, can you say this? Always ask them to say a few extra words because you can use them in next tracks. So if you ask them for just this, try and ask them for a few more. The rave or whatever, tell them to say extra things because you can use that in your next songs, and you won't have to pay extra money, right? Because I think you're getting a certain allowance of words. But anyway, this is what we came up with. I will show you the processing. I'm gonna quickly go now and see if I can find the main project where I started processing the vocals. If not, you're gonna see me in this exact same project. So there's a fourth project. Here is the vocal project. Basically, I took his vocals and EQ'd them in a separate project and then this was a headache of a collab, right? Think about it. You know, I had 3 projects before I sent it to David. And then David sent them back. So we have 4 projects. It never normally goes this way. but it was one of those tracks where it took a while to like get all the elements together. You know, fair enough, I had that sick acid sound. Fair enough, I had that sick vocal, but it was hard to get them all together, right? So this is the project where I got all this stuff. You'll hear all the different takes that he had. So there's take number 1, take number 2, I believe, and he just did them in different. Oh, I think I've just chopped them. This is the one. Actually, you just sent this whole file. So when you go on Fiverr, you'll just get this whole file. They usually do it in a different few takes because you might want to chop certain parts. So this is what he sent me. Let's make it unique so it doesn't have any of my processing on. So you'll hear what you get from Fiverr. This is it.
Techno. 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 Acid. 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 Acid.
Ass. So that's pretty much it.
Electro. 303 bass.
I forgot how weird these are. But yeah, I had to go through and just pick the ones I like the most, and this is what I found.
Techno. Acid. Electro. 303.
As you can hear, I had to change the positions a little bit and do some EQs and stuff like that, but the actual vocal he sent was pretty good, right? So what have I done to it? I've added ultra pitch.
Techno. Techno.
Which is just adding some extra low vocals to layers, to his vocal. We've got the Arts Acoustic on there.
Techno. Acid. Electro.
A lot of wet reverb here. We've got the Cashmere Essentials as well, which I love adding on my vocals. Makes a massive difference.
Techno. Techno.
See how processed that is? And also the delay is really important.
Techno. Acid. Electro. 303. Techno. Acid.
And then a final EQ, just boosting the volume. I want it to be a little bit louder. As you can see, I've got the instrumental here.
Electro.
Just to make sure it's all working right. So that was it for the vocals. As you can see, it's just a lot of chopping, adding them together, finding the takes that you like the best. But I recommend Fiverr. I'm not sponsored by Fiverr, I wish. But I recommend them if you want to find some cool, unique vocals and you have an idea in your head. Maybe you don't have a good mic, so you can't do it yourself. Like, I've got a decent enough mic now where I could do it myself, but I don't think my voice can get that low. So, yeah, that's pretty much how I did it. I took the takes and, yeah, just chopped them up. So we go back into the main break project to get this. I did some extra stuff, as you can see. Let's go through this one by one. Didn't have the delay on. So first one is an EQ, boosting the highs slightly, boosting the volume. With this one here, we've got a little delay, which I didn't use actually. Stereo imager, why? Oh, I guess that's for some kind of EQ. Yeah, as you can see, it's for automation there. So forget about that. We've got the vocodex, which is very important.
Acid. Acid. Electro. Acid. Electro. 303. Techno.
So as you can see, I've increased the wet knob there just so you can really hear what's going on more clearly. It just adds a really gritty robotic layer to it. I'm not sure I think this is just a preset, man. Just go across the presets on the top and you'll find it. Just make sure you go on the keyboard and select the key of your track. So you can see this is C sharp, D sharp, E. It's D sharp, sorry. So that's whatever key on your see, it's in E, but the track is in D sharp. Anyway, make sure you select the note on the keyboard which your track is in, and it will add a bass layer in that key. So if you want to change bass notes all the time, it gets a bit complicated with this plugin. But if you want to just keep the same bass note throughout.
Acid. Electro. 303.
It's really good for that, especially for a pre-drop vocal, because you wouldn't really need to change the bass notes. So that's pretty much all I added. Sidechain for, I think because we have the snares in here, so I wanted it to feel a little bit more tight in the mix, and then cutting all the loads that the vocal decks and stuff gave me. So that's pretty much how I've processed the vocals.
Techno. Acid. 303.
Yeah, and the automation for the stereo imaging is just making it come more mono because we have this transition here.
303.
Then it comes silent, then the acid comes in. I think that's a really cool way to do your pre-drop instead of just the standard build up, vocal and then drop. This is something a little bit different. Boom, and then the acid comes in. So other elements, we have this amazing little